Billionaire takes son out to dinner, but when he sees a poor single mother sharing a plate with her daughter on Christmas Eve, he does something unbelievable. Snow was falling gently through the streets of Denver on that Christmas Eve. Storefronts glittered with red and gold decorations. People rushed around with colorful bags, and the cold air carried that scent of cinnamon and pine that only appears in December. Andrew Collins held his small son's hand tightly as they walked along the sidewalk. Thomas jumped into the melted snow puddles, his brown eyes full of curiosity. "Daddy, where are we eating?" the boy asked. "At that restaurant you like and the one with the golden lights in the window." Thomas smiled widely. Andrew also smiled, but it was a tired smile. It had been 2 years since Sarah had died, and Christmases were never the same. He tried very hard for Thomas. He bought presents, decorated the house, made the turkey. But something was always missing. The restaurant door opened with a jingle of bells. The warmth hit their faces. Soft music played in the background, and every table was filled with families laughing, toasting, celebrating. "Good evening, Mr. Collins," the hostess greeted. "Your table is ready." Andrew thanked her and followed with Thomas by the hand. They sat near the window. Thomas climbed onto the chair and immediately started watching everything around him. He always did that. He always noticed people, details, the small things. "Daddy, look at that man over there. He's wearing a funny hat." Andrew chuckled softly. "That's a Santa hat, Thomas." "Oh, I want one of those." The waiter brought the menu. Andrew ordered the usual: a steak for Thomas, pasta for himself, orange juice. Nothing too elaborate. Andrew never liked drawing attention. Even owning one of the largest environmental project firms in the country, he preferred to live quietly, discreetly. He wore simple clothes, drove a normal car, and avoided black tie events. Thomas swung his little legs beneath the table. "Daddy, do you think Mum is watching us?" Andrew felt a pang in his chest. He took a deep breath before answering. "I think so, son. I'm sure she's looking down at us right now." Thomas nodded, thoughtful. "I miss her." "Me too, Thomas, every day." The boy was quiet for a few seconds. Then he smiled again and pointed to the Christmas tree in the corner of the restaurant. "Daddy, is that tree bigger than ours?" "I think it's a little bit bigger, but ours is prettier." Andrew smiled. "Definitely." It was at that moment that the restaurant door opened again, and it was at that moment that everything changed. Emma Brooks walked into the restaurant with her daughter by the hand. She held the door to keep the wind from slamming it shut, and Lily quickly stepped inside, shivering from the cold. Her blonde hair was damp with snow, and her blue eyes sparkled as she looked around. "Stay close to me, honey," Emma murmured. Lily nodded. It was the first time she had ever been in a place like this. Emma felt out of place. Everyone was well dressed, neatly put together. She was wearing an old coat, threadbare at the sleeves. Lily had a scarf that Emma herself had made from fabric scraps. The hostess looked at the two of them with that mixture of pity and judgment. "Good evening. How many in your party?" "2, Emma replied, her voice low. "We were hoping for a small table. Somewhere in a corner, if you have one." The woman looked at the crowded dining room and sighed. "I only have a small table in the back, near the kitchen." "That's fine, thank you." Emma held Lily's hand tighter and they walked to the table. It was indeed small. They could hear the clanking of dishes being washed, the chef shouting orders. Lily climbed onto the chair and knelt to reach the table. She looked around, enchanted. "Mommy, it's pretty here," she whispered. Emma smiled, but it was a sad smile. "Yes, it is, sweetie." The waiter arrived, handed them the menu, and stood waiting. Emma opened it and felt her heart sink. Everything was expensive, very expensive. A steak cost $40. She had exactly $23 in her wallet. It was all that was left after paying the overdue electricity bill. She looked at the cheapest options. "We'll take the pasta," Emma said. "Just one, to share." The waiter wrote it down and left. Lily looked at her mother, confused. "Mommy, are we only eating this?" Emma felt the tears burn but held them back fiercely. "It's all we can afford." Lily didn't say anything more. She was 5 years old, but she already understood a lot. She already knew that money was tight, that some days they ate toast for dinner. Emma ran her hand through her daughter's blonde hair. But it will be delicious, okay? We'll share. And it's Christmas. We're together, and that's what matters. Lily smiled back. Okay, Mommy. Emma picked up Lily's small hand and squeezed it. I love you very much, you know? I love you too, Mommy. Across the restaurant, Thomas had stopped fiddling with his napkin. He was staring intently at the table in the back. At that mother and that blonde-haired girl. Andrew followed his son's gaze. What is it, Thomas? Daddy, those two over there, the boy said, pointing. They're only going to share one plate. Andrew looked. He saw the blonde woman, young, but with that weary expression. He saw the little blue-eyed girl, tiny in her chair. He saw the way the mother held her daughter's hand. He understood right away. Yes, son. Sometimes people don't have a lot of money to spend. Thomas fell silent. He looked at his own plate, which hadn't even arrived yet, and then looked back at their table. Daddy, he said, his voice tiny. Can you buy their dinner, please? Andrew felt something stir inside his chest, a wave of pride, of tenderness. You want me to help them? Thomas nodded hard. They look sad, Daddy. I saw it. The little girl asked if that was all, and her mom looked sad too. Andrew was silent for a few seconds. He looked at his son, at the pure heart of that 5-year-old boy, and he felt that Sarah would have been proud. All right, Thomas, I'll help. Thomas's little face lit up. Really, Daddy? Really? Andrew called the waiter over. The man approached. Yes, Mr. Collins? See that table in the back? The mother and daughter. The waiter looked. Yes, sir. Send them the same meal I ordered for my son. Steak, potatoes, salad, juice, dessert, everything. And do not accept payment from them. Put it on my bill. The waiter blinked, surprised. Are you sure, sir? Absolutely. And should I tell them it was from you? Only if they ask. The waiter smiled. Understood, sir. He left. Thomas watched their table, anxious. And will they like it, Daddy? I think so, son. And will they be happy? Definitely. Thomas smiled, satisfied. Emma was talking quietly with Lily when the waiter returned. He was carrying a large tray, full, succulent steak, baked potatoes, green salad, orange juice, even a chocolate dessert with whipped cream. Emma's eyes widened. Excuse me, but I think you have the wrong table. No, Mum, it's for you. Emma looked at the food, confused. But I didn't order this. I only ordered one pasta. The waiter smiled. Someone paid for you. Emma was frozen. What do you mean? That gentleman over there, the waiter said, pointing toward the table near the window. Emma turned her head. She saw a dark-haired man, well-dressed but not overly so, and beside him, a small boy with big eyes who looked at her with a shy smile. It was the boy. A child had done this. Emma felt the tears return. Did he do this? It was the little boy's idea, the waiter said softly. He asked his dad to help you. Emma covered her mouth with her hand. Lily looked at the plate, her blue eyes wide. Mommy, is this really for us? Emma nodded, her voice caught in her throat. It is, honey, it's for us. Lily smiled, a huge smile. He's nice, Mommy. Yes, he is, sweetie, very nice. Emma looked again at their table. Andrew raised his hand in a calm gesture. It wasn't pity, it was just kindness. Emma smiled, embarrassed but grateful. Thomas waved, happy, and Lily waved back, smiling. The dinner was silent, but full of meaning. Emma and Lily ate slowly, savoring every forkful. It had been a long time since they had eaten something like this. Lily laughed, telling her mother about the taste, about how the potato was crispy, and Emma watched the boy and his father, feeling something strange in her chest, something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. When they finished, Emma mustered her courage. She wiped Lily's face, took a deep breath, and stood up. Come on, honey. We need to say thank you. They walked over to the table. Andrew looked up, and Thomas did too. Emma took a deep breath. I just wanted to thank you. This meant so much to us today. Andrew smiled. It's Christmas, a time for sharing, and it was Thomas who wanted to help. Thomas blushed, shyly. Lily looked at him and smiled. Thank you, Lily said. Thomas gave a little grin. "You're welcome." Emma smiled. She thanked him once more and walked back to her table, her heart lighter. When they left the restaurant, the snow was falling harder. The square next door was all lit up. Decorated trees, wreaths hanging, a large Christmas tree in the center. Lily stopped, gaping. "Mommy, look!" Emma was about to say they needed to leave, but then she saw Andrew and Thomas coming out too. Thomas saw Lily and his eyes lit up. "Do you want to play in the snow?" Lily looked at her mother, hopeful. Emma hesitated. Andrew approached. "Let them play for a bit. It's okay. It's Christmas." Emma nodded, nervously. The children ran to the square. They made snow angels, laughed, rolled around, played tag. Their laughter echoed in the cold night air. Andrew and Emma stood near a lamppost, watching. "Your son is very kind," Emma said, fiddling with her coat. "He has a good heart," Andrew replied. "Sometimes I think he's a better person than I am." Emma smiled. "I'm sure that's not true. He learned it from someone." They stood in silence for a moment. "Christmas has felt a little empty at home," Andrew said, his voice low. "My wife died 2 years ago. Cancer. Since then, I try to make everything seem normal for Thomas, but he misses her. I do too." Emma felt her chest tighten. "I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how hard that must be." Andrew shrugged, his eyes fixed on Thomas. "We manage, for them, right?" Emma nodded. "Yes, for them." "What about you?" he asked. "Is it just you and your daughter?" Emma nodded. "It is. I work as a cashier at a neighborhood grocery store. I do what I can, but it's hard." Andrew looked at her with respect. "You're doing an incredible job. Lily is beautiful, well-behaved, and happy. That means you're doing things right." Emma smiled, a genuine smile this time. "Thank you, that means a lot." They stood there, side by side, watching the children play. And something shifted, something small but real, a connection. When it was time to leave, Lily and Thomas didn't want to separate. "Can we play again?" Thomas asked. Lily looked at her mother pleadingly. Emma looked at Andrew. He smiled. "Maybe, if your mum is willing." Emma felt her face flush. "Maybe." They said goodbye. Andrew and Thomas went one way. Emma and Lily went the others toward the bus stop. But when Emma looked back, she saw Andrew looking too, and both of them smiled. That night, Emma tucked Lily into bed, and the girl whispered, "Mommy, Thomas is my friend now." Emma kissed her forehead, brushing back the blonde strands. "I know, sweetheart. He's nice. Yes, he is. And his daddy is nice too." Emma smiled in the dark. "He is." And for the first time in a long time, Emma went to sleep with a different feeling in her chest. Something new was beginning, something she couldn't name yet, but which made her feel that maybe things could get better, that maybe the world still held kindness, that maybe she and Lily weren't quite so alone after all. The car slid quietly through the snowy streets of Denver. Christmas lights twinkled in the windows of houses, creating a warm glow against the white snow. Andrew drove slowly, being careful of the ice on the road. Thomas was in the back seat, buckled in, looking out the window. His brown eyes blinked slowly, fighting off sleep. The car heater was on, and the soft hum of the engine was almost a lullaby. Andrew looked in the rearview mirror and saw his son yawning. "Tired champ." Thomas nodded, but kept looking outside. The snow was falling in large and slow flakes. He ran his little finger along the window, tracing the path of a descending flake. They were silent for a few minutes, only the sound of the engine and the tires on the snow. Then Thomas spoke, his voice quiet and sleepy. "Daddy." Were they happy? Andrew felt a tightness in his chest. He looked again in the rearview mirror and saw his son's eyes still fixed on the window but waiting for an answer. They were, "Hey, son, you changed their Christmas today." Thomas turned his head and looked at his father. "I really changed it." "You did." The boy fell silent, thinking. Then he gave a small smile and looked back out the window. Andrew took a deep breath. He knew he needed to say something. Something important. Something Thomas would remember for the rest of his life. "Thomas, I want to explain something to you." "What, Daddy?" Andrew stopped at a red light. He turned around, looking directly into his son's eyes. "We have money, son. You know that, right?" Thomas nodded. "We have a big house. We have food. We have toys. I know. But having money is not the most important thing in the world." Thomas frowned a little, trying to understand. "It's not?" "No. What is truly important, what is rare and precious, is what you did today." "What I did?" Andrew smiled, his eyes shining. "You saw someone else's struggle. You saw that those two were sad, in difficulty. And instead of ignoring it, instead of pretending you didn't see, you wanted to help." Thomas looked down at his lap, fiddling with his hands. "I didn't like seeing them share food. I know, son. The little girl was hungry, and her mum was sad. And you noticed that many people don't notice. Many people walk right past. But you saw, and more than that, you cared." The light turned green. Andrew started driving again, but kept talking. "Thomas, I want you to know something very important. I am so proud of you." Thomas looked up, surprised. "You are?" "Very much. You're 5 years old and you already have a bigger heart than many adults. You are kind. You are good. And that, son, that is priceless." Thomas smiled, a shy but happy smile. "Would Mom have liked what I did?" Andrew felt his voice catch for a second. He swallowed the lump in his throat. "She would have. Your mother would have loved it. She always said the most important thing was to be a good person, and you are, Thomas. You are a good person." The boy was quiet, taking in the words. Then he yawned again and rubbed his eyes. "Daddy?" "Yes." "Can I see Lily again?" Andrew smiled, touched. He hadn't expected that question. "Did you like her?" "I did. She's nice. And she plays well in the snow." "She does. And she laughed when I made the snow angel. She has a pretty smile." Andrew chuckled softly. His 5-year-old son already recognized a pretty smile. "She certainly does." "So can I see her again?" Andrew thought for a moment. He didn't have Emma's phone number. He didn't have her address. He only knew she worked at a neighborhood grocery store, but something inside him told him they would meet again. It had to be that way. "I hope so, son. I really hope so." "Did you like her mum?" Andrew felt his face flush a little. He hadn't expected that question either. "I did. She seems like a very good person. Very strong." "She's pretty," Andrew smiled. "She is. And she loves Lily a lot. I saw it." "You did?" "I did." The way she held Lily's hand, and the way she looked at her, just like you look at me. Andrew felt his eyes sting. His son was so observant, so sensitive. "You're right, Thomas. She loves her daughter very much, just like I love you." "I know, Daddy." They continued driving through the snowy city. The streets were almost empty. Most people were already home, celebrating with their families. Thomas yawned once more and leaned his head against the window. "Daddy, it was a good Christmas today." Andrew smiled, his eyes fixed on the road. "It was, son. It was very good. Better than last year." "Why?" "Because we helped someone, and I made a friend." Andrew felt his chest warm. He drove in silence for a few more blocks, listening to his son's breathing get slower, heavier. When he looked in the rearview mirror again, Thomas was asleep. His head resting against the window, his lips slightly parted, his face peaceful. Andrew kept driving through the snowy city, passing illuminated houses, gathered families, and Christmas trees twinkling in the windows. And for the first time in 2 years, since Sarah had died, he felt his heart was lighter. It wasn't complete happiness. There was still pain, there was still longing, there were still empty nights and difficult mornings. But there was something new too. There was hope. There was the memory of that blonde woman's blue eyes looking at him with gratitude. There was the sound of Lily laughing while playing in the snow with Thomas. There was his son's kindness, so pure and true. And there was the small but real feeling that maybe life could still surprise him, that maybe there were still good things waiting for them. Andrew looked again at his son sleeping in the back seat and smiled. "I'm proud of myself too, Sarah," he whispered into the empty car, "because I raised this boy, this incredible boy, and I know you're proud of him too." The snow continued to fall outside, covering the city with a white, silent mantle. And Andrew drove home with a slightly lighter heart. a little more hopeful, and with the certainty that this Christmas night had changed something in him, something important, something he couldn't explain yet, but which he knew was good. The alarm clock rang at 5:30 in the morning. Emma opened her eyes in the dark and immediately felt the cold. The apartment was freezing. The old heater in the corner of the living room barely worked, and even when it was on, it only warmed a small part of the room. She wrapped herself in the thin blanket for a few more seconds, trying to gather the courage to get up. Beside her, Lily slept soundly, curled up, her blonde hair spread out on the pillow. Emma gently stroked her daughter's head and got up slowly, being careful not to wake her. The floor was icy. She quickly put on her worn socks and went to the tiny kitchen. She turned on the old coffee maker and waited, rubbing her hands together to warm up. The morning light hadn't even appeared yet. Outside, snow covered everything. It was beautiful to look at, but Emma could only think about how hard it was to walk in that snow to get to the grocery store. The coffee dripped slowly. She held the cup with both hands, feeling the heat penetrate her fingers. Weak coffee. Always weak, because she stretched the grounds to last longer. She opened the cabinet. Half a loaf of old bread. It would be toast for breakfast. Again. Emma put 2 slices in the toaster and looked at the refrigerator. Almost empty. Enough milk for only 2 more days. A slightly wilted apple. Leftover cheese. She sighed and took out the cheese to spread on the toast. Lily woke up shortly after, rubbing her blue eyes. "Good morning, Mommy." "Good morning, my love. Did you sleep well?" "I did. I dreamed about the snow." Emma smiled and picked up her daughter, pressing her close to her chest. "Come have breakfast. It's cold, isn't it?" "It is." They sat at the small kitchen table. Lily ate her toast slowly, swinging her little legs. Since it was school vacation, she would stay home. Emma had no one to leave her daughter with, so on workdays, she took Lily to their neighbor, Mrs. Rose's house, who watched her for a few dollars. "Mommy, can we play in the snow again? We can take a quick walk before I go to work." "Yay!" Emma shared the last piece of toast with her daughter. Each ate half. She drank the weak coffee and looked at the pile of papers on the small side table. Bills, electricity bill, gas bill, past due rent notice. She quickly looked away. She wasn't going to think about that now. After breakfast, Emma dressed Lily in the warmest clothes they had. Threadbare coat, patchwork scarf, gloves that were too big. She put on her own old coat and they went out. The snow crunched underfoot. Lily ran ahead, laughing, scooping up snow with her hands. "Look, Mommy, I made a ball!" Emma smiled, but it was a tired smile. "That's lovely, sweetheart." They walked around the block. Lily played, jumped, made footprints in the snow. Emma just watched, her hands in her pockets, trying to ignore the cold seeping through the seams of her coat. 20 minutes later, she looked at her watch. "Let's go, Lily. Mommy needs to drop you off at Mrs. Rose's and go to work." "Already, my love." Lily pouted, but obeyed. Emma dropped Lily off at the neighbor's house and walked to work. The grocery store was 4 blocks away. A small, simple neighborhood store, the kind where everyone knows everyone. She walked quickly through the snow, her breath forming little clouds in the cold air. She passed the bakery, the laundromat, the corner pharmacy. When she got to the store, the manager was already opening the door. "Morning, Emma." Punctual as always. "Morning, Mr. Marcos." She went inside, tied her apron, pinned up her hair, and went to the register. The small store only had 3 aisles, basic products, nothing luxurious. It was the kind of place where neighborhood people did their daily shopping. The morning started slowly, a few customers buying bread, milk, eggs. But as the day went on, the traffic increased. New Year's Eve. Everyone buying last-minute things. The line grew longer. Emma began scanning the products. Beep, beep, beep. The repetitive sound she heard for hours and hours, every day. "What's the total?" asked an impatient woman. $42. "That's too expensive." "I'm sorry, ma'am. I just ring up the products." The woman grumbled and paid. Next customer, and the next and the next. The hours passed slowly, very slowly. The manager walked past her register and frowned. "Emma, faster." The line is long. "I'm going as fast as I can, Mr. Marcos." "Then go even faster." He left. Emma took a deep breath and continued. Beep, beep, beep. Her feet hurt. Her back hurt. She hadn't even stopped to go to the bathroom. A customer dropped a jar of sauce on the floor, broken glass, red sauce spread everywhere. Emma had to clean it up. The manager walked by again. "This slows down the line, Emma." "I'm sorry." She cleaned it up quickly, returned to the register, and continued. More customers, more products. More hours on her feet. An elderly woman took a long time to find the money in her purse. The man behind her huffed, impatient. Emma smiled at the woman, trying to calm her. "Take your time, Mrs. Betty. It's okay." The woman finally found the money and thanked her with a smile. But the day didn't stop. It never stopped. When her shift ended, it was already late afternoon. Emma took off her apron, grabbed her purse, and left through the back door. It was snowing again. She walked back toward home, her hands in her pockets, her body tired. Her feet ached inside her old shoes. Her back pleaded for rest. When she reached Mrs. Rosa's house, Lily ran to her. "Mommy!" Emma picked up her daughter, even with her tired arms. "Hi, my love. Did you miss me?" "I did. Can we go home now?" "We can." Emma paid Mrs. Rosa the $5, and they returned to the cold apartment. At home, Emma heated canned soup on the stove. It was cheap and lasted 2 days. They ate in silence, sitting at the small table. Afterward, Emma looked again at the pile of bills. She opened the electricity bill, 5 days past due. She opened the gas bill, also past due. She picked up the rent notice, 3 days overdue. If she didn't pay by the end of the week, she would have to leave. Emma felt the panic rising but took a deep breath. She would figure it out. She always did. She put the papers away and went to the sofa. Lily was already there with colored pencils and paper. "What are you drawing, sweetie?" "Me and Thomas." Emma looked. In the drawing, 2 children were making snow angels. One had yellow hair, the other brown. "It's beautiful." "I like him, Mommy." "I know. He was nice to me. And his daddy was too." Emma felt something tighten in her chest. She remembered the man with the kind eyes, the way he smiled, the way he didn't judge. Yes, they were very nice. "Are we going to see them again?" Emma hesitated. "I don't know, honey. I wish we could. I know, but we don't know where they live. And they don't know where we live." Lily was quiet, continuing to draw. Emma stroked her daughter's blonde hair. She wanted to say yes. She wanted to say they would see them again, but she was afraid to get closer, afraid to get used to something good and then lose it. She had lost before, she had trusted before, and it had gone wrong. She shook her head, pushing the thoughts away. "Come on, let's play for a bit before bed." Even exhausted, even with her feet aching, Emma sat on the floor with her daughter. They played with the few toys they had, old dolls, plastic cars, a box of blocks. Lily laughed. Emma laughed too, and for a few minutes, she forgot the bills. She forgot the tiredness. She forgot the fear. It was just her and Lily together, and that had to be enough. Later, after tucking Lily into bed, Emma sat alone on the sofa. The apartment was silent, cold, dark, except for the faint light of the lamp. She looked again at the papers on the table, the rent, the electricity, the gas, and then she remembered last night's dinner, the full plate, the dessert, Lily eating until she was satisfied. A tear rolled down Emma's face. That dinner had been more than just food. It had been dignity. It had been a moment when she didn't have to feel small, when Lily didn't have to go hungry. Emma didn't know the man's full name. She didn't know where to find him, but she knew he had done something she would never forget. He had seen her. He had seen Lily, and he had cared. And that, in a world where Emma felt invisible every single day, meant everything. She wiped her tears, took a deep breath, and went to sleep. Tomorrow would be another day, another struggle, another battle. But for today she had done enough. She had worked. She had cared for her daughter. She had played. She had loved, and that in the end was all that mattered. Emma looked out the apartment window. The snow had stopped falling, and the sky was clear. Lily was sitting on the sofa, drawing again, always drawing her and Thomas in the snow. "Lily, do you want to go out for a bit?" The girl lifted her head, her blue eyes shining. "Where to, Mommy?" "Downtown. To see the Christmas lights. The giant tree!" Lily jumped off the sofa. I really do." Emma smiled. She didn't have money to spend, but seeing the lights was free, and Lily deserved a little magic. They dressed in the warmest clothes they had and went out. Downtown was a 20-minute walk away. Emma held Lily's hand and off they went. As they got closer, the lights began to appear, thousands of them. White, gold, red, hanging on lampposts, trees, buildings. The entire downtown area sparkled. Lily stopped, gaping. "Mommy, it's so beautiful." "It is, sweetie." The main square was full of people, families strolling, children running, stalls selling hot chocolate and cookies. In the center, a gigantic Christmas tree, fully illuminated, with a golden star on top. Lily squeezed her mother's hand, enchanted. "Can I get closer?" "You can. Let's go together." They walked through the square, past the stalls. The smell of hot chocolate, cinnamon, and pine was in the air. Emma felt like buying something for Lily, but she knew she couldn't. Every penny counted. Lily didn't mind. She just looked at the lights, the tree, the decorations. It was enough. On the other side of the square, Andrew and Thomas had just arrived. Thomas ran ahead, excited. "Daddy, look how many lights." Andrew smiled and walking behind his son. "It is beautiful." Thomas stopped near the giant tree, looking up. "It's bigger than our house." "It's much bigger." Andrew put his hands in his pockets and looked around. Happy families, children laughing, couples holding hands. He felt that familiar pang of loneliness that always appeared at these moments, but it quickly faded when Thomas pulled his hand. "Daddy, can we look at the stalls?" "We can." They started walking through the square, and that's when Thomas suddenly stopped. "Daddy, it's Lily." Andrew followed his son's gaze, and there she was, the little blonde girl, with blue eyes, standing near the tree, looking up. And next to her, her mother, Emma. Andrew's heart beat faster. Thomas didn't wait. He ran off. "Lily, Lily!" The girl turned her head and saw Thomas running toward her. Her little face lit up. "Thomas!" They met in the middle of the square and hugged, laughing. Emma's eyes widened, surprised. Andrew approached slowly, smiling. "Hi." Emma turned and saw him. She felt her face flush. "Hi. What a surprise." "Yeah. It looks like they miss each other." Emma looked at the children, who were already talking excitedly, pointing at the lights. "It certainly does." Andrew stood beside her, not quite knowing what to say, but it wasn't an awkward silence. It was comfortable. "Did you come to see the lights too?" he asked. "I did. Lily really wanted to. And it's free, so—" She stopped, realizing she had said too much. Andrew pretended not to notice. "Thomas wanted to too. He loves Christmas." "Lily does too. She won't stop drawing Christmas trees." They smiled. Thomas tugged on his dad's hand. "Daddy, can I have hot chocolate?" Andrew nodded. "Of course." "Let's go to that stall." Lily looked at her mother, hopeful. Emma was about to say no, that she didn't have any money, but Andrew spoke up first. "Lily, do you want hot chocolate too?" The girl looked at her mother, asking for permission. Emma hesitated. "You don't have to. I want to buy it, to celebrate the reunion." He looked at her with that kind smile. "Do you want one too?" Emma felt like refusing, but she saw the excitement on Lily's face. "All right, thank you." They walked to the stall. Andrew ordered 4 hot chocolates. The man served them in paper cups, with whipped cream on top. Thomas and Lily took theirs and ran off again, laughing. Andrew handed one to Emma. "Here you go." "Thank you," again. They started walking through the square together, the children ahead, them behind. Emma took a sip of the hot chocolate. It was warm, sweet, perfect. "It's been a long time since I had this," she said softly. Andrew looked at her. It's good, right? Tastes like Christmas. It does. They passed a stall selling ornaments. Lily stopped to look. Mommy, look how beautiful that angel is. Emma approached. It is beautiful, sweetie. Can I have one? Emma was about to say no, but Andrew was already paying. This angel here, please. The vendor wrapped it and handed it to Lily. The girl hugged the angel, overjoyed. Thank you. Emma looked at Andrew, not knowing what to say. You didn't have to. I wanted to. It's Christmas. Emma smiled, but there was something in her eyes. Gratitude, but also discomfort. Andrew noticed, I'm sorry if I'm being intrusive. It's not that. It's just, I'm not used to it. To what? To people being kind without wanting anything in return. Andrew looked at her, understanding more than she had said. I don't want anything. I just want you and Lily to enjoy Christmas. Emma nodded, her voice failing a little. Thank you. They continued walking. Thomas and Lily ran ahead, showing each other the lights, laughing. They get along well, Andrew commented. Too well. Lily won't stop talking about him. Thomas, too. He asks every day when he'll see Lily again. Emma smiled. It's funny how quickly children make friends. It is. No complications, no overthinking. They stopped near the giant tree. Andrew looked up. When I was a kid, my dad used to bring me here every Christmas to see this tree. Emma looked at him. Are you from Denver? I am. Born and raised here. It must be nice to have those memories. What about you? Where are you from? Emma hesitated. From far away. I came here a few years ago. Andrew realized she didn't want to go into detail, so he changed the subject. Christmas was different when I was a kid. Simpler. My mum made cookies. My dad set up the tree. We watched movies together. Emma smiled, relaxing a little. That sounds nice. It was. What about you? What's Christmas like for you and Lily? Emma looked at her daughter, who was hugging Thomas, looking at the lights. Simple. Just the two of us, but we make it work. Andrew heard what she didn't say. That it was hard. That it was lonely. That she was doing the best she could. You're doing a great job. Emma looked at him, surprised. How do you know? Because I see it. Lily is happy. She's well behaved. She's full of love. That doesn't happen by accident. Emma felt her eyes sting, but she blinked quickly. Thank you. That means a lot. They stood in silence for a moment, just watching the children. Then Andrew spoke. Look, I know we barely know each other, but I'd like to, well, keep in touch. For the kids, you know. They clearly like each other. Emma looked at him. There was fear in her eyes, but also willingness. I would like that too, but I don't want to be a burden. You're not a burden, not at all. Emma took a deep breath. All right, we can exchange numbers. Andrew smiled, relieved. Great. They took out their phones and exchanged numbers. Emma typed his name, Andrew. He typed hers, Emma. When they put their phones away, Thomas and Lily ran back. Daddy, can we go see the other lights? We can. Do you guys want to come with us? Andrew looked at Emma. Emma nodded. We'll come. Then the four of them walked together through the lit-up square, the children in front, laughing, pointing, discovering every new decoration. And behind them, Andrew and Emma walking side by side, talking about simple things, getting to know each other slowly. And for the first time, Emma felt that maybe it wasn't a coincidence. Maybe it was destiny trying to give her something good. Something she didn't know if she deserved, but desperately wanted to believe she did. Emma woke up that morning with a weight in her chest. She couldn't explain it, but something felt wrong. She got up, made weak coffee as always, prepared toast to share with Lily, the usual routine. But the weight remained. After breakfast, she went to the door to check the mail, some flyers, a phone bill, and a white envelope. Emma recognized the envelope immediately. It was from the real estate company. She went back inside, closed the door, and opened it with trembling hands. She read the first lines, final notice of overdue rent deadline for regularization. 5 days. If payment is not received, Eviction proceedings will be initiated. Emma felt her legs go weak. She sat down on the kitchen chair, the letter still in her hand. 5 days. Only 5 days. She looked at Lily, who was playing on the living room floor, completely oblivious to her mother's despair. Emma took a deep breath, trying not to panic. She needed to think. She needed to find a solution. Her paycheck wouldn't arrive for another 10 days. There was no way to wait. She needed the money now. And there was only one option: ask for an advance at the grocery store. Emma dropped Lily off at Mrs. Rosa's house and went to work. But this time, she was different. More tense, more nervous. She tied her apron, went to the register, and started working. But her mind was elsewhere, thinking about the letter, the eviction, where she and Lily would live if they were kicked out. She had no family, no close friends, nowhere to go. It was just her and Lily. And if they lost the apartment, they would be on the street. At lunchtime, Emma gathered her courage. She dried her sweaty hands on her apron and went to the manager's office. She knocked on the door. "Come in!" She opened the door slowly. Mr. Marcos was sitting behind his desk, looking at his computer. "Emma, what is it?" Emma stood in the doorway, her voice caught in her throat. "Mr. Marcos, I wanted to talk to you about something." He looked up at her, waiting. Emma took a deep breath. "I'm having some financial difficulty. I received an eviction notice. I have 5 days to pay the overdue rent, and I wanted to know if an advance on my salary would be possible." The manager stopped typing. He looked at her with that expression that already knew what he was going to say. "Emma, you know that's not company policy." "I know, sir, but it's an emergency. I just need a part of it. Half. Anything. I promise I'll work double. I won't miss a day. He raised his hand, cutting her off. "Emma, I understand your situation, but I can't do that. It's not allowed. The company has rules. But I'm sorry, I can't help." Emma felt the tears well up, but held them back. "Okay, thank you anyway." She left the office, closed the door behind her, and leaned against the corridor wall. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath. She wasn't going to cry there. She wasn't going to break down at work. She went back to the register, continued working, but she was destroyed inside. When her shift ended, Emma went to pick up Lily. She paid Mrs. Rosa the $5 and walked home. Inside the apartment, she heated canned soup again. Lily ate, chatted, told her about her day. Emma smiled, answered, pretended everything was fine. But inside, she was in pieces. After dinner, Emma looked at Lily playing on the floor and felt like crying, but she couldn't, not in front of her daughter. Lily, do you want to take a walk? Get some fresh air?" "I do." They got dressed and went out. The cold air hit Emma's face, and she took a deep breath. She needed to clear her mind. She needed to think. They walked around the block, aimlessly. Lily jumped in the snow puddles, oblivious to everything, and it was when they turned the corner that they saw them. Andrew and Thomas. They were coming out of a store, Thomas holding a bag. The children saw each other at the same time. "Lily!" "Thomas!" They ran to each other, hugging, laughing. Andrew approached, smiling. "Hi, Emma!" What a coincidence. Emma tried to smile, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. "Hi." Andrew noticed immediately that something was wrong. She was different, more closed off, shoulders tense, eyes distant. "Is everything okay?" Emma nodded too quickly. "Everything. Yes, everything is fine." But her voice was strange, forced. Andrew looked at her more closely. Emma had red eyes, a pale face. Her hands were shaking slightly. "Are you sure?" "I am. I'm just tired from work." She looked away, fiddling with her coat, and that's when Andrew saw it, a crumpled letter in her coat pocket. He couldn't read it all, but he saw the bold words, "Final notice." His heart sank. "Emma." "Lily, let's go." Emma cut in, grabbing her daughter's hand quickly. "We need to go." Lily pouted. But I'm playing with Thomas. We'll come back another time. Let's go. Thomas looked at his father, confused. Andrew looked at Emma, wanting to say something but not knowing what. Emma, if you need anything. I don't. Everything is fine. She pulled Lily along and walked away quickly. Andrew stood there, Thomas beside him, watching Emma and Lily disappear. He knew that everything was not fine. He knew she was lying, and he knew that something was very wrong. Emma arrived home, locked the door, and finally let the tears fall. She sat down on the living room floor, the crumpled letter still in her pocket, and cried in silence while Lily slept in the bedroom. 5 days, only 5 days, and she had no solution, nowhere to run. She had no one. Andrew arrived home with Thomas and couldn't stop thinking about Emma, that empty look, those trembling hands, that crumpled letter. He picked up his phone, looked at her number, thought about calling, but he didn't call. Not yet. But he knew he would need to do something because something was very, very wrong, and he wasn't going to just ignore it. Andrew couldn't stop thinking about Emma. It had been 2 days since their encounter on the street, 2 days since he had seen that crumpled letter in her pocket, 2 days trying to decide whether or not he should do something. He was sitting on the sofa, fiddling with his phone, looking at her number. He wanted to call, but he didn't know if he should. He didn't want to seem invasive. He didn't want her to think he pitied her, but he also couldn't just ignore it. Thomas walked into the room, dragging his teddy bear. "Daddy, when are we going to see Lily again?" Andrew looked at his son. "I don't know, champ. But you have her mum's phone number." "I do." "So call her." Andrew smiled. Children were so simple, so direct. "Do you miss her?" Thomas nodded hard. "I do. She's my best friend." Andrew felt a pang in his chest. His son had found a friend. And he had found what? He couldn't define it yet. But he knew Emma had stirred something within him. He looked at his phone again, and this time, he decided, he called. Emma was washing the dishes when her phone rang. She dried her hands on the dish towel and looked at the screen. Unknown number. She hesitated, but answered, "Hello! Emma! It's Andrew!" Her heart leaped. "Andrew! Hi!" "Hi. Sorry to call out of the blue like this. I hope it's not inconvenient." "No, it's fine." Silence for a few seconds. Emma waited. "Look, I know we barely know each other, but Thomas won't stop talking about Lily, and I was wondering if you two would like to spend New Year's Eve here at my place. Watch the fireworks from the balcony, nothing too elaborate, just a simple dinner and the fireworks." Emma was speechless. You don't have to answer now. You can think about it, but it would be nice. For Thomas, and for Lily too, I imagine." Emma felt a whirlwind of emotions, a desire to accept, shame about her situation, fear of getting too close, fear of getting used to something good that could disappear. "Andrew, I don't know if—" "Mommy, who is it?" Lily appeared out of nowhere, curious. Emma covered the phone. "It's Thomas's dad, sweetie." Lily's eyes widened. "Thomas!" Emma returned to the phone. "Andrew, let me think and I'll text you back, okay?" "Of course, no pressure." They hung up. Emma looked at her daughter, who had that expectant look on her face. "What did he want, Mommy?" Emma sighed. "He invited us to spend New Year's Eve at their house, to watch the fireworks." Lily jumped up and down, happy. "Are we going? Please, Mommy, please. Lily, I want to see Thomas and watch the fireworks, please." Emma looked into her daughter's blue eyes, so full of hope, so full of joy. How could she deny her this? And if she was honest with herself, she wanted to go too. She wanted to see Andrew again. She wanted to feel that feeling of not being alone, even if it was just for one night. "All right, we're going." Lily screamed with happiness and hugged her mother tightly. Emma picked up her phone and sent a message. "We accept. Thank you for the invitation." The reply came quickly. "Great, I'll pick you up at 7. Send me your address." Emma hesitated, but sent it. And for the first time in days, she smiled. On December 31st, Andrew woke up early and started tidying the house. He vacuumed, cleaned the kitchen, straightened the living room. It wasn't ostentatious, It was just a comfortable house. But he wanted Emma and Lily to feel welcome. Thomas helped the way a 5-year-old helps. More getting in the way than actually helping, but Andrew didn't mind. "Daddy, will Lily like it here?" "I think so, son." "And are we going to watch the fireworks together?" "We are," Thomas smiled, satisfied. Andrew went to the kitchen and started preparing dinner. Nothing too elaborate. Roast chicken, potatoes, salad, something simple, but made with care. He wanted the night to be special, but without exaggeration. Without making Emma uncomfortable, Emma, on the other side of the city, was nervous. She opened the closet and looked at the few clothes she had. Nothing very nice, nothing very new. She picked out the most presentable top she had, a simple blue blouse and a pair of jeans that were still in good condition. Lily was in the bedroom humming a tune, excited. Emma got ready in front of the small bathroom mirror. She combed her blonde hair, put on a bit of lipstick she had saved. It wasn't much, but it was all she could do. Lily appeared in the doorway, already dressed. "Mommy, you look pretty." Emma smiled, her heart aching. "Thank you, sweetie. And you do too." They waited in the living room. Emma was anxious, her hands were sweating, her mind wouldn't stop thinking. What if he saw where they lived and felt sorry for them? What if he realized how bad their situation was? What if... The doorbell rang. Emma took a deep breath and opened the door. Andrew was there, with Thomas beside him. He was wearing simple clothes, jeans and a casual shirt, nothing overdone. "Hi. Hi, we're ready." Thomas and Lily had already hugged and were chatting excitedly. Andrew quickly glanced at the apartment behind Emma. He saw the small space, the old heater, the simple furniture. But he didn't say anything, he didn't judge, he just smiled. "Shall we go?" Emma grabbed her purse and locked the door, and they went downstairs. Andrew's house was in a quiet area of the city. It wasn't a mansion. It was a 2-story house, nice, comfortable, but without ostentation. When they walked in, Emma looked around. Spacious living room, comfortable sofa, fireplace lit. Christmas tree still decorated in the corner. Everything clean, organized, but with that air of a home, a lived-in house. "Make yourselves at home," Andrew said. Thomas tugged on Lily's hand. "Come on, I'll show you my room." The children ran off up the stairs, laughing. Emma stood in the living room, unsure what to do. "Do you want to sit down?" Andrew offered. "Thank you." She sat down on the sofa. Andrew went to the kitchen. "Do you want something to drink? Water? Juice?" "Water is fine." He returned with 2 glasses and sat next to her, keeping a respectful distance. "The house is beautiful," Emma said softly. "Thank you. It was my wife's. She decorated everything. I kind of kept it the way she left it." Emma looked at him. "That must be hard," Andrew shrugged. "Sometimes it is, but it's also comforting, like she's still here in some way." Emma nodded, understanding. Children's laughter echoed from upstairs. They smiled. "They really get along," Emma commented. "Too well, I haven't seen Thomas this happy in a long time." "Lily too? She won't stop talking about him." They fell into silence for a moment, comfortable. "Dinner is almost ready," Andrew said, standing up. "Do you want to help? Or would you prefer to rest?" "I'll help." They went to the kitchen together. Andrew took the chicken out of the oven. Emma helped put the salad in the serving dishes. They worked side by side, in sync, as if they had been doing it for years. "You're a good cook," Emma commented. "I had to learn. After Sarah died, it was just Thomas and me. So either I learned, or we'd live on takeout." Emma smiled. "I understand. I had to learn everything by myself, too." Andrew looked at her, curious. "How long has it just been you and Lily?" Emma hesitated. "Since forever. Since she was born." "Her father? He's not a part of her life, or mine." Andrew realized she didn't want to talk about it, so he didn't press. "It must be hard doing everything alone." Emma nodded, her voice cracking a little. "It is very hard. Some days I don't know how I'm still standing, but I do it for her. Everything for her." Andrew looked at Emma with that deep respect, that genuine admiration. "You are very strong." Emma felt the tears burn, but held them back. "I don't have a choice." "Yes, you do. You could have given up. You could have done less, but you didn't. You fight every day. And that's incredible. Emma looked at him, and for the first time in a long time, she felt like someone truly saw her. Not with pity, but with respect. "Thank you," she whispered. They called the children down for dinner. Thomas and Lily ran down, sat at the table, and ate excitedly, talking about everything and nothing. Andrew served Emma. She ate slowly, savoring every bite. It had been a long time since she had eaten something like this, homemade, warm, made with care. After dinner, they went to the living room. The children played on the floor. Andrew and Emma sat on the sofa, talking softly. "Have you thought about what you'll do next year?" Andrew asked. Emma gave a sad smile. "Survive. That's always the plan." Andrew wanted to ask more. He wanted to understand, but he knew it wasn't the right time. So he just said, "If you need anything, you can talk to me." Seriously. Emma looked at him, her eyes shining. Why do you want to help us?" Andrew thought for a moment. "Because I see you, and I see Lily, and I see how special you are, and I like being around you. It makes me feel less lonely." Emma felt her chest tighten. "I also feel less alone when I'm around you." They looked at each other, and something shifted there, something deep, something real. A few minutes before midnight, Andrew called everyone to the balcony. They went out. The air was cold, but clear. The sky was dark, full of stars. The city below illuminated, waiting for the new year. Thomas and Lily stood in front, leaning on the railing, excited. Andrew and Emma stood behind them, side by side. The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. Emma looked at the fireworks about to explode. 7, 6, 5. Andrew looked at Emma. 4, 3. Emma felt his gaze and turned. 2. Their eyes met. 1. The fireworks exploded in the sky. Red, gold, and silver lights illuminated everything. The children screamed with joy, but Andrew and Emma didn't look away. They stood there, still, looking at each other, while the world around them celebrated. And Emma felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Possibility. The possibility that life could be different. That she didn't have to be alone all the time. That maybe, just maybe, she deserved something good. Andrew gave a small smile. Emma smiled back. And in that moment, without words, without promises, they knew something was beginning. Something real. Something neither of them expected, but which both of them wanted. Later, when Andrew drove Emma and Lily back home, Emma stayed in the car seat for a few seconds before getting out. "Thank you for the evening. It was special. For me too." Lily had already run to the door. Emma looked at Andrew one more time. "Happy New Year, Andrew." "Happy New Year, Emma." She got out of the car and went inside. And when she lay in bed that night, Emma felt something different in her chest. Hope, possibility. And for the first time in a long time, she fell asleep, smiling. It had been 3 weeks since New Year's. Andrew and Emma had seen each other a few times, outings with the children, quick coffees, conversations in the park while Thomas and Lily played. With each meeting, they grew closer, more comfortable, more connected. That Saturday afternoon, Andrew took Thomas to Emma's apartment. The children wanted to play together, and Emma had agreed to host them. It was Andrew's first time entering her apartment. He looked around discreetly. Small but cold, simple, but clean, organized, with Lily's drawings hanging on the refrigerator. "Sorry about the mess," Emma said, nervous. "There's no mess at all, it's great." The children ran off to Lily's room. Andrew and Emma stayed in the living room. "Do you want coffee?" she offered. "I do." Emma made coffee, served it in 2 simple mugs, and they sat on the small sofa. They talked about random things. About her job, about his company, about the children. But there was something in the air. A different tension, as if both of them knew they needed to talk about something deeper. Andrew looked at her, serious. "Emma, can I ask you something?" She nodded, nervous. "Why are you alone? I mean, you're incredible. You're beautiful, smart, hard-working. Why isn't there anyone in your life?" Emma was silent for a long time. She looked at the coffee mug in her hands. Then she took a deep breath. Because I'm afraid. Afraid of what? Of repeating the mistakes of the past. Andrew waited, without pressuring her. Emma looked up at him, her eyes shining. Lily's father. He wasn't a good person. Did he hurt you? Emma shook her head. Not physically. He never laid a hand on me, but he hurt me in other ways. Ways that leave scars nobody sees. Andrew felt his chest tighten. How so? Emma put the mug on the small table and hugged her knees, closing herself off. When I met him, I was young, naive. I thought he was perfect. Attentive, protective, but over time I realized it wasn't protection, it was control. Control? He decided what I wore, who I spoke to, where I went. He criticized everything I did. He told me I was stupid, that I couldn't do anything right, that I needed him to survive. Andrew felt the anger rise but stayed quiet, letting her speak. I started believing it. I started thinking he was right, that I was incapable, that I was small, and then I got pregnant. Emma stopped, her voice breaking. When I told him, I thought he'd be happy, but he wasn't. He got worse, more controlling, more jealous, more suffocating. He wanted to decide everything about the pregnancy, about the baby, about me, and I realized that if I stayed with him, my daughter would grow up in that environment. She would grow up seeing her mother being diminished, controlled, and I couldn't let that happen. So you left, Emma nodded, the tears falling. I ran away. I took the little I had and ran. I moved to another city. I came to Denver. I started over from scratch, with nothing. With no one, just me and Lily. And since then, I never wanted to depend on anyone again. I never wanted to give anyone the power to decide my life. Andrew was silent, processing everything. You did the right thing. I know, but it was hard. Very hard. And it left me with scars. It left me afraid. Afraid of what? Emma looked at him, her eyes full of pain. Afraid of repeating it, afraid of getting involved with someone and little by little losing my freedom again, afraid of being controlled again. Andrew shook his head. Emma, I would never do that to you. I know you don't want to, but... She stopped, her voice trembling. But what? Emma looked at him, really looked. She saw the man in front of her. Rich, powerful, influential, owner of a company, used to making decisions, to being in control. And she felt the fear tighten in her chest. You have money, Andrew. A lot of money. You have power. You're used to solving things, to making decisions. And I'm afraid that one day you'll start making decisions for me too. Andrew's eyes widened. Emma, I would never. I know. I know you don't mean to. But it's stronger than me. It's a fear that's right here inside. She placed her hand on her chest. And I can't control it. Every time you offer help, every time you pay for something, every time you solve something, a part of me is grateful. But another part panics. Because that's how it started with him. With small things, with him helping, and then, little by little, he took over everything, my whole life. Andrew was speechless. Emma, I just want to help. I don't want to control you. I know, but the fear isn't rational. It's emotional. It's a wound that hasn't healed properly. She got up from the sofa, agitated, walking back and forth. I like you, Andrew. I like you a lot. But I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can open up. I don't know if I can trust. Because every time I look at you, I see everything you have, everything you are, and I feel small again. I feel like I'm losing control, and that terrifies me. Andrew got up too, trying to approach. Emma, I understand. I understand what you went through. But I'm not him. I never will be. Emma shook her head, tears falling. I know you're not. But the fear doesn't know that. She backed away, hugging herself. I think we need some time apart. Andrew felt the ground disappear beneath his feet. What? I need some time. I need to think. I need to understand what I'm feeling, because right now everything is confusing, and I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to hurt myself again. Emma, please, Andrew, I need this. Andrew stood there, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say. He wanted to argue. He wanted to say she was wrong, that he would never hurt her, that she could trust him. But he saw the fear in her eyes. He saw the pain. He saw the vulnerability. And he understood that she needed space. "All right," he said, his voice low. "If that's what you need, all right." Emma let out a sob, covering her face with her hands. Andrew took a step toward her, but stopped. He wanted to hug her. He wanted to comfort her, but he knew he couldn't. "I'll go get Thomas. We're leaving." He went to the bedroom, called his son. Thomas came out complaining, not understanding why they had to leave so early. Andrew looked at Emma one last time before leaving. She was leaning against the wall, crying in silence. "I'm not giving up on you," he said softly, "but I'll give you the time you need." And he left, taking Thomas by the hand. Emma closed the door and slid down to the floor, crying. Lily came out of the bedroom, scared. "Mommy, why are you crying?" Emma quickly wiped her tears. "It's nothing, sweetie. Mommy is fine." But she wasn't fine. She had just pushed away the only person who had made her feel hope in years, and now she was alone again, with fear winning once more. 2 weeks. 2 weeks since Emma had asked for time apart. 2 weeks without seeing Andrew. 2 weeks of Lily asking every day when she would see Thomas again. Emma tried to explain. She tried to say they were busy, that they would see each other soon. But Lily missed her friend, and Emma, no matter how hard she tried to deny it, missed Andrew. That Saturday afternoon, Emma decided to take Lily to the park. Maybe the fresh air would help. Maybe it would distract them both. They walked to the neighborhood park. Lily ran ahead, excited. Emma followed her, her hands in her coat pockets. The park was full. Children playing. Parents talking. The sun was already beginning to set, painting the sky orange and pink. Lily went straight to the swing set. Emma pushed her, listening to her daughter's laughter. And then she heard another voice. "Lily!" Emma turned her head and saw him, Thomas, running toward them, and behind him, Andrew. Their eyes met. Emma felt her heart race. Thomas arrived near the swing set, breathless. "Lily, I missed you." Lily jumped off the swing and hugged her friend. "I missed you too." The two children ran off together, laughing as if nothing had happened, as if they hadn't spent 2 weeks without seeing each other. Emma and Andrew stood there, watching their children play. The silence was heavy, uncomfortable. Andrew took a step toward her. "Hi." "Hi." More silence. "How are you?" he asked. "I'm good. And you?" "Good too." Polite lies. Both of them knew it. Andrew put his hands in his pockets. Thomas missed Lily a lot. Lily too. She asked every day. "Yeah." They fell silent again, watching the children play on the slide. Then Emma took a deep breath. "Andrew, I need to say something." He looked at her, waiting. Emma fiddled with her coat, nervous. "I know I asked for time apart, and I know I pushed you away, and I need to explain better." "You don't need to explain anything." "Yes, I do, because you don't deserve to be treated like that. You didn't do anything wrong. The problem was never you, it was me." Andrew took a step closer. "Emma, let me talk. Please." He nodded. Emma looked at her own feet, gathering courage. "When I pushed you away, it wasn't because I don't like you. It was because I like you too much. And that terrified me, because every time I started to like someone before, things ended badly, very badly." She lifted her eyes to him. "What I went through with Lily's father, it left me scarred. It left me with scars I didn't even know existed. And when I started getting close to you, those scars started hurting again. I started feeling afraid of losing control, afraid of being diminished again, afraid of repeating everything. But I would never do that to you. I know you wouldn't, but the fear isn't rational. It's a body reaction. It's the trauma talking. Every time you offered help, every time you solved something, a part of me was grateful, but another part panicked, because that's how it started with him, with small things, with him helping, and then, little by little, he took over everything, my whole life. The tears began to fall, and I know you're not him. I know it. But my body doesn't know it, my heart doesn't know it, and when I realized how much I was starting to like you, how much I was starting to rely on you, I panicked, and I ran, like I always run. Andrew stood silent, processing. Emma wiped her tears. The problem was never you, Andrew. It was always me, my past, my fear, my trauma, and I'm sorry I hurt you. Because you didn't deserve that. Andrew took another step, standing very close to her. Emma, I understand. I understand everything you went through. I understand the fear, and I will never judge you for it. He looked into her eyes, serious. But I need you to understand one thing. I will never control you. Never. I don't want to run your life. I don't want to decide for you. I don't want to diminish you. I want to walk with you, by your side, as a partner, as an equal. Emma sobbed. But you have so much more than me. You have money. You have power. You have influence. And I have nothing. You have everything that matters. You have courage. You have strength. You have a huge heart. And you have Lily. And that's worth more than any money in the world. He put his hand on her face, gently. Emma, I don't want to save you. I don't want to be your hero. I just want to be by your side, walk together, support you when you need it, but always respecting your choices, always respecting your autonomy, always respecting you. Emma closed her eyes, tears falling. I'm so afraid, Andrew. I know, but I'll be patient. I'll give you the time you need. I'll give you the space you need. And I'll be here when you're ready. Emma opened her eyes and looked at him, and for the first time, she felt something different. It wasn't fear, it was safety. I feel safe with you, she said, her voice trembling. Andrew smiled, his eyes shining. You are safe. You always will be. Emma took a step toward him and rested her head on his chest. Andrew hugged her, carefully, respectfully, without pressure. They stood there, embraced, while the children played in the background. And Emma felt for the first time in a long time that maybe she could trust again, that maybe she could open up again, that maybe she could love again, without fear of losing herself in the process. When they separated, Emma wiped her tears and smiled. Sorry I pushed you away. You don't need to apologize. You did what you had to do. But now I want to try really, slowly, calmly, but I want to try. Andrew smiled, relieved. Saying slowly is perfect. Thomas and Lily ran back, breathless. Daddy, can we go get ice cream? Andrew looked at Emma, asking with his eyes. She smiled and nodded. Let's go. The four of them left the park together, the children in front, holding hands, Andrew and Emma behind, walking side by side. And this time, Emma didn't feel fear. She felt peace. She felt hope. She felt that maybe things could work out. It was late afternoon when Andrew rang the doorbell of Emma's apartment. She opened the door, smiling. Andrew was there with Thomas, who was already jumping with excitement. Is Lily home? The boy asked, eager. She is. Come in. Thomas ran inside before Emma even finished the sentence. Lily appeared from the bedroom and the two hugged, as if they hadn't seen each other in months, even though they had seen each other 2 days ago. Come on, Thomas, let's build a fort. Let's go. I brought my teddy bear. They ran off to the bedroom, laughing, leaving a trail of pure energy. Emma and Andrew stood in the living room, smiling at the scene. They're inseparable, Emma commented, shaking her head. They really are. Thomas talks about her all the time. Morning, noon, and night. It's only Lily, Lily, Lily. Emma laughed. Lily too. She draws the two of them on every piece of paper she finds. Andrew looked around the apartment, small but cozy. It felt like a home. Emma noticed and felt a little shy. Do you want to come in, have some tea, or, I don't know, stay for a bit? Andrew smiled, that calm smile that always reassured Emma. I do. She went to the small kitchen and put water on to boil. Andrew followed her, leaning on the doorframe, watching her get the mugs. "Can I help?" "You don't need to. It's just tea. Nothing too elaborate." "I like tea." Emma smiled as she prepared 2 mugs, put in tea bags, and waited for the water to boil. When it was ready, they returned to the living room. They sat on the sofa, side by side, but keeping a respectful distance. The children's laughter came from the bedroom, accompanied by the sound of chairs being dragged. "They invent the wildest things," Emma said, laughing. "Yesterday, Lily said they were explorers on a frozen planet looking for magic crystals. Thomas said they were superheroes saving lost dogs and taking them to a safe place." They laughed together, a light, genuine laugh. The silence that followed was comfortable, peaceful, the kind that only exists between people who feel good near each other. Andrew looked at the mug in his hands, thoughtful. Emma noticed he wanted to say something. "What is it?" she asked gently. "Emma, can I tell you something?" She looked at him, curious but also a little nervous. "Of course, go ahead." He took a deep breath, as if gathering courage. "I love being with you, very much. And it's not just because of the children. It's not just because Thomas and Lily get along. It's because of you, because of who you are, because of how you make me feel." Emma felt her heart race. She placed the mug on the small table carefully. "How do I make you feel?" Andrew looked at her, directly in the eyes. "Alive. For the first time in 2 years, I feel alive again. I wake up and I think about you. I spend the whole day wanting to see you, wanting to hear your voice, wanting to know how your day was. And when I'm with you, I feel complete. Like a part of me that was missing has returned home." Emma felt her eyes sting. She blinked quickly. "Andrew, I'm not pressuring you. I just wanted you to know that what I feel for you is real, it's strong, and it's not going away, no matter how much time passes." Emma put her mug on the small table and looked at her own hands, interlocking her fingers. "I feel that too." Andrew turned to her, surprised, his heart beating faster. "You do?" Emma nodded, her voice low but firm. "I feel something very strong for you, something that scares me and calms me at the same time. It's strange. I'm afraid, yes. I'm afraid of getting hurt. I'm afraid of losing control of my life. But when I'm by your side, I feel good. I feel safe. I feel seen. Like I matter. And it's been so long since I felt that way." She looked at him, her eyes shining with contained tears. "I didn't think I could feel this again. After everything I went through, after everything I carried alone, I thought I had lost the capacity to trust, to open up, to love. But you showed me that I still can, that I still do, that I still deserve it." Andrew took her hand, interlacing his fingers gently. "You can and you deserve it. You deserve everything good. And I'll be here, at your time, at your pace. No rush, no pressure, just walking by your side." Emma squeezed his hand back, feeling the warmth, the safety. "Thank you for being patient with me, for understanding my panic attacks, for not giving up when I pushed you away, for still being here. I will never give up on you. Never." They stayed there, holding hands, looking at each other. They didn't need to say, "I love you." Not yet. But the feeling was there. Clear. Strong. Real. Pulsing between them. Emma placed her other hand over his, holding it with both as if it were something precious. "I want to try. Really. I want to see where this goes. I want to build something with you." Andrew smiled, relieved, happy. "Me too, more than anything." At that moment, the children ran out of the room shouting excitedly, "Mommy, Daddy, come see the fort we made. It's giant." Emma and Andrew looked at each other and laughed, the intimate moment being interrupted in the most perfect way possible. "Let's go," Emma said, standing up. They went to the bedroom. Inside, an improvised fort made of sheets, chairs, pillows, and even a broom holding it all up. Thomas and Lily were inside, proud of their creation. "It's our castle," Lily announced dramatically, "and you're the special guests." Thomas completed, opening the fort door. Andrew and Emma bent down and entered the fort. They were crowded inside, the 4 of them together, laughing at the small space. Thomas pointed at Emma with seriousness. "You're the queen of the castle." Lily pointed at Andrew, excited. "And you're the king." Andrew looked at Emma. She looked at him. And the two of them smiled, understanding what the children were saying without saying it. King and queen. Family. Maybe the children were right. Maybe they were already a family. They just needed to accept it. 3 months later, winter was over. The snow had melted. The first signs of spring were starting to appear on the trees. Emma looked around the empty apartment. Boxes were stacked near the door. Lily ran back and forth, excited, humming a tune. "Mommy, we're going to live at Thomas's house. I'm going to have my own room." Emma smiled. Her heart filled with a mixture of emotions: happiness, relief, hope. "Yes, we are, sweetie." The doorbell rang. It was Andrew and Thomas, ready to help with the move. "Ready?" Andrew asked, smiling. Emma looked at the apartment one last time. It had been difficult there. It had been cold. It had been cramped. It had been lonely. But it had been hers. The place where she had rebuilt her life from scratch. The place where she had raised Lily alone. The place where she had learned to be strong. "Ready?" she replied, her voice firm. Andrew grabbed the heaviest boxes. Emma took the light ones. Thomas and Lily ran ahead, excited, talking non-stop about how they would share their toys. Andrew's house was different. Emma and Lily had visited many times, but now it was different. Now it wasn't just a visit. Now it was for good, to live, to make a life. When they entered, Lily and Thomas ran inside, screaming with joy. "Lily, come see. I have a surprise for you." "What? What?" Emma's eyes widened. Curious, Andrew smiled. That mysterious smile. "Of course there is. Come see." They went up the stairs. Andrew opened the door to a room that had once been an office full of papers and boxes. Now it had a small bed with floral sheets, a white desk, shelves with some children's books, and even a window with light curtains. Simple, but cozy, made with care. "Is this mine?" Lily asked, her blue eyes wide, unable to believe it. "It's yours," Andrew confirmed, smiling. "It's your room." Lily screamed with happiness and jumped onto the bed. Thomas jumped with her. They started jumping, laughing, testing the mattress. Emma looked at Andrew, emotional, her voice breaking. "You didn't have to do that. You've already done so much." "I wanted to. She deserves to have her own room, her own space. And you deserve to have a real home too." Emma felt the tears well up, but held them back. Not now. Not in front of the children. They went back downstairs and started unpacking. The children helped, the way children help. More playing than actually helping, but it was good that way. Emma put her things in the kitchen, her pots and pans, her spices, her dish towels that she had embroidered, her favorite mugs. The house began to feel like a home. Lily's drawings were hung on the refrigerator with colorful magnets. Toys scattered around the living room. Laughter echoing through the hallways. The smell of fresh coffee. Thomas took Lily's hand and said, very seriously, "Lily, now we're real siblings." Lily smiled, a huge, toothy smile. Forever. Forever. They hugged tightly and ran off again, already planning their next game. Emma and Andrew stood in the living room, watching, their hearts overflowing. "They love each other," Emma said softly, emotional, "like real siblings, like they've always been." Emma looked around. The house was full of life now, full of laughter, full of love, full of light. "Thank you," she said, looking at him, "for all of this, for opening your home, for opening your heart." Andrew shook his head and took her hand. "Come with me. There's something I want to show you." He led her to the back porch. Outside, the sun was beginning to set. The sky was painted orange, pink, and lilac. The trees swayed with the gentle spring wind. Andrew turned to her, holding both her hands firmly and tenderly. "Emma, I need to tell you something, and I need you to listen carefully." She looked at him, her heart pounding, knowing it was important. "From now on, I want to take care of you both, but not because you need me, not because I think you can't manage alone. I know you can. You are the strongest woman I have ever met, but because I need you. You are my family now, you and Lily. You complete us. You complete me and Thomas. You fill the empty spaces, and I don't want to live without you anymore." Emma felt the tears fall freely now. I ran from the past, trying to find a safe place, a place where Lily and I could be happy, where we could breathe. And I searched so hard, I fought so hard, I worked so hard, and in the end I found you. We found each other that Christmas night, and since then everything has changed. She squeezed his hands tightly. We chose this family. It wasn't by chance. It wasn't out of necessity. It wasn't because I needed help. It was out of love. Because we love each other. Because the children love each other. And I want to stay. I want to build this with you. I want to see our children grow up together. I want to wake up every day next to you. I want to stay. Forever. Andrew pulled her into a tight hug, embracing her completely. Emma rested her head on his chest, listening to his heart beating fast. I love you, Andrew whispered in her ear. Emma closed her eyes, the tears falling, wetting his shirt. I love you too. So much. They stayed there, embraced while the sun set, painting the world in warm colors. Later, when night fell and the house was quiet, the four of them were in the living room. Thomas and Lily were playing on the floor with a new puzzle. Emma and Andrew were on the sofa and watching, simply present. Andrew put his arm around Emma's shoulders. She leaned into him, sighing contentedly, relaxing for the first time in a long time. We made it, she said softly. Made what? We built a family. A real family. Andrew kissed the top of her head tenderly. We did it. Together. They stayed there, watching the children. Thomas teaching Lily how to find the right puzzle pieces. Lily laughing when she got it right. Thomas patient, affectionate, and Emma thought about how it all began. A cold Christmas night, a cozy restaurant, a shared plate of food, a boy with a pure heart who saw suffering and wanted to help. A simple gesture, a small act of kindness, a child's decision that changed everything, that brought hope where there was despair, that brought love where there was loneliness, that brought family where there was emptiness. Emma looked at Andrew. He looked at her and they smiled. That smile of people who know they are exactly where they should be, because sometimes a single act of kindness is all we need to change the course of our lives. And that Christmas night, when Thomas asked his father to buy dinner for two strangers, he didn't know he was starting a love story, a family story, a story of a new beginning. And now, there, in that living room full of laughter and love, the four lives were intertwined forever, not by chance but by choice, by love, by family. A boy's simple act of kindness on a Christmas night changed the fate of four lives forever. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. Leave a like because it helps this story get recommended to more people. See you in the next story.